My name is Ian Walsh, and this episode of Masters of the Market, we are joined by two guys that I'm excited to have them, that they were allowed to give me some time of their day to do this meeting. And this was one of those interviews that had to happen, and the timing's amazing because these two recently got in business together at a huge merger in Center City, and I know a lot of people did see it, but I'm going to get into it in detail because I think there's a lot of questions people have about the situation at hand. So, with that said, we have Gaurav Gambhir. He merged with his partner, Ben Aller, in the Condo Shops over to Antonio Atacan's Keller Williams Center City. Now, with that said, I want to tell everybody and explain to everybody the kind of volume these guys do and the kind of real estate they push around Philadelphia, because it's very relevant to me and what I do, because it helps me keep, and you, the people watching this, a pulse on the market, which is extremely important, knowing if you have guys like this that move literally $500 million in real estate, you're going to want to know what they think of the market, because that's really going to dictate the trend. Somebody that's moving 5 or 10 million, they're probably making a good living, but they're not going to be able to tell you what's coming tomorrow. These are the kind of guys that tell you, because they project the market, they make the market. So with that said, we have the Condo Shops. Last year they did a GCI over $100 million. They also did over 275 transactions. We have Antonio Atacan's Keller Williams Center City. These guys, no kidding, over $500 million in gross, over 2,200 transactions. I don't know what doesn't move under you guys down here, right? Is there anybody selling anything that's not with you guys? So guys, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having us.
I really appreciate your time. I truly do. And before we sat down this meeting, I told you guys, I wasn't really sure what all this meant. I know I've known Gaurav, I've met Antonio before, I've just seen the news, but I didn't really know what to make of this. So let's start off with, I know we went into it a little bit in a prior interview, but why did you, Gaurav and Ben, decide to merge into Keller Williams Center City and make this a bigger family?
Sure. Just a fact check. Based on our GCI, we did about $100 million worth of sales, not GCI. Ben and I have been partners, and I thank my stars for having a partner like him. Okay. It's very, very helpful to have a partner who takes you from one level to the other one, who believes in you, who gives you the support, and makes the company as a family and to progress as well. So I'm thankful to that opportunity with being in part with Ben and the team that we have put together. Our agents are part of a family. Day and night we hang out with them. We feel for them. They feel for us. As we were growing, we went from 5 agents in 2007 to about 50 agents in 2017. Our production increased almost tenfold in the last 10 years. We saw the market being up and down, but we rode the cycle. And we found that the opportunities that we are continuing to expand into the different markets are humongous. Our aspirations have been very high. The Condo Shop is a trademark in the country. How do we get from Philadelphia to Miami, to San Francisco, to Dallas, to Austin, to places which is a high concentrated condominium market, but not just restricting ourselves in the condominium world. We are very high on rentals as well. We are doing a lot of sales, ground up construction. Our teams have just expanded from just condominiums into real estate. So how do we expand into the different market? We continue to grow. We had some growing pains. We fought a lot. We recreated some of the wheels ourselves, and then came a point when you look around you, you reanalyze yourself. So we could, as a company, could have just taken a position that we are the best with the best name, and we're going to continue to grow at the same pace that we're growing. Or you take a step back and you analyze, how do I get faster? How do I grow into different markets faster? How do I give the best opportunity to our agents in our company to have the best ammunition to go and make the best for the time? These are my family of agents that have believed in us, and we have to give back, and we have to believe the right path for them as well. I'm honored that my team is still with us with this big change as well. Super excited, super crazy about the idea of adding a bigger brand name to our Condo Shop, but they also love the idea of being part of our company. Our company culture is very unique. We have open space, not cubicles where people are sitting behind the desk with their heads down. We don't watch our back with the clients' names and phone calls. So we build a very good and tight group of agents that believe this as a company. We wanted to maintain that company culture all along, and that's why we were continuing to grow in our own sphere, not giving in to any of the corporate franchise names around us. because we always felt that the bigger franchise names could come and put a different company culture on us. And the reason why Condo Shop came into existence was because we wanted to maintain that company culture. But as we got into more and more information from Keller Williams, there are some great mentors in Keller Williams that we met, and we had the opportunity of learning from them as well. We have some dear friends that have joined Keller Williams in the last 3 years. Finally, the time came and we were talking, discussing of the different avenues, how we're going to continue to grow, and looking deeper into the Keller Williams model gave us the opportunity to know how entrepreneurial they are, how much they give back to society, how much they give back to their own agents. There's a capping structure on commission, which is very helpful for the agents. It's not unlike any of the franchise that would continue taking commissions out of the franchise, out of the commissions. I think the agents deserve more, and the training to help them grow further and expand into their own world of lead generation is very helpful. The day education stops, your growth stops. And Keller Williams' fundamentals have been based on training and education. I firmly believe in that, and I know our agents will definitely benefit from that as well. So we had to pick the right horse to jump into this new field into, and so that's where, you know, when we decided to discuss different opportunities, Keller Williams came about, and we have 3 office locations in the city. We met Antonio, and it felt the right match to come together. And he's done phenomenal in his territory and in the city. You know, I was joking around with Antonio that being the first person to bring Keller Williams' name to the Center City location, Keller Williams was not a name that everybody and that many knew at that time. But now Keller Williams is a very established brand. So being in the same locations with him and taking advantage of the resources that he has to offer, been very welcoming to our team, and his executive staff is out of this world. We have nothing but great things to say. So we're looking forward to this merger, and he's giving us an opportunity to play at a different level with his team as well, and we're very, very excited.
That's fantastic. So Antonio, 2 things. One,
Wow.
multiple times.
That's very well done.
It came from the heart, right?
Yeah.
That was very good. I think we've established quite a few times that you're a pioneer in the Center City, in your own right. You have the rights. You know, you're with your Center City, Keller Williams. You actually own kwphilly.com, which we just found out before this interview, which I thought was awesome. So, Antonio, Gaurav, you know, approaches you. You know, he's been meeting with some people. We know, you know how strong the backbone of Keller Williams is, right? You know the training, you know what's involved there. Why did you think these guys were a good fit to what you had going on already? Because they had to take the leap, and you said, yeah, you know, bring it on. I believe we're the right fit for you guys, with you guys. How did that work? How did you see that going?
Sure, I mean, I could begin to say, one thing that we all have in common in real estate is we're all self-made. So we all started from ground zero, built a company. And my own experience in my own business, when I started originally with Berkshire Hathaway, used to be Prudential, and I came to a point in my business world, I realized that what's next? When you ask that question, what's next, you start thinking about, maybe I should do some due diligence on what my future is going to look like. You want to live life not by default, by life by design. So that part is really resonated with me in terms of my own experience with KW. One of the things I found out about the company, even still today, I'm super impressed. Like, I'm still discovering things about the company. But what I could say is that it is a life-changing company. And in a way, we know there are a lot of great real estate agents out there, but doesn't necessarily mean that they're all great business people. For instance, like when I ask people questions about, you know, what did you net this year? I would say 98% of agents are like, what do you mean, what net? And I'm more on the next part where, what did you gross? I think I made maybe 200,000 this year. So we want to change it as a company.
Okay.
So that's to us as a KW brand, that's why we're attracting a lot of entrepreneurs like Gaurav. And this is not just happening in Philadelphia, it's happening
Go into more depth on that. What do you mean you want to change that this year? What's the focus? Explain that to me.
Well, I mean, the goal is, I believe, as the KW brand becomes, much more clear that this is a winning model, not just locally, but nationally. Now we are the #1 company in the world. The fact that we can attract talent like Gaurav, that's going to send a message to the marketplace and say, wait a second, why they made this move? You get curious, let's be honest, right?
That's why we're doing this, right? I was curious.
So I've been waiting for that moment for a long time. And I got into business with a lot of great talent in the past. We're still in the business together. But I believe that getting people to a point where they're building a life they're worth living and business they're worth owning. To me, that element is very important by educating people through that process. Give them the tools they need, the teaching, the leadership, the accountability. All that really comes into a place. The result is inevitable. I mean, it is really a natural progression at the end of the day. So, I mean, I can obviously talk about all day long about this.
Well, explain to me. So you have the vision is very clear to me. I mean, you guys are bringing in winners to the table.
Sure.
That's what I'm seeing, right? Talented winners. That's what we've got to bring to the circle. How does KW provide the backbone to support those winners, right? How you have the talent, you have the resources. How do you make sure that they have what they need to run as fast as they
100%.
can?
It's an excellent question. So we don't wing it, right? We learn by models and systems. And if I remember from our earlier conversation, we have something called career visioning. My goal as a leader, my job, my accountability to get into business with the right talent. First, you have to attract the talent. You got to keep the talent. You got to train the talent, and then you create the leaders. So I like to get into business in terms of where management goes. I want to hire a bunch of leaders, not a bunch of people who are doing just a job every day. So when you do that, honestly, your business is runs so much better. Everybody's happy. There's synergy. There is everything that you want from a company, the belief system. So we also keep our staff, our management team, highly accountable taking classes. They're constantly required to take classes. They keep evolving, keep growing. So in this transaction, bringing 50 agents to a company, obviously you have to make sure you have an onboarding process.
Right.
You have to make sure that they're going to be happy from this transition. So this isn't our first big, large transition. This is the largest transition we ever had, but we are very experienced and very trained. So each department has the right person, right fit in each department, and they all work so collectively together, so well together. We are ready for every situation.
I got it.
And if I may add on that a little bit, being new to the company today, I feel that we have a lot to learn, but our as much understanding as I've had by talking to a lot of players who have been in this business, in this company for the last 3 to 4 years, the feedback that I've gotten so far is that the company lets entrepreneurs run their own companies within the organization. Well, that's a very key player of what our decision was as well. We didn't want to just join an organization where we'll be told what to do because that's what corporate does. We were given the opportunity of what would you like, what to enhance and grow yourself and your team, not just in terms of volume, but personal growth. Is there a satisfaction by giving back? We have people in our company who love to get themselves involved in different organizations of giving back, and that's their deep down satisfaction that comes about by giving back to the community. And this company is all about it as well. Letting an entrepreneurial company coexist is an absolute unique proposition that this company offers, and that's why you see that the company is growing at such high levels. There are bigger groups that are coming to Keller Williams today from other organizations because they like that. They want that opportunity. They want the growth opportunity, not just in terms of volume, but financial as well, but also their team is happier. Team is told from day one that education is going to be a key factor of your growth, and they continue getting the benefit as they go along day after day, week after week, year after year. The people who are in this organization who are successful and are successful agents or realtors or businessmen, they give back. They take classes, they give classes.
Yeah.
What better to give back to your own team by being there, giving your time and explaining to them how they have done it. You learn from your team directly by being in that position. It's an open book. It's a unique proposition that everybody knows what everybody is doing in terms of volume. Everybody knows what everybody is doing in terms of sales and gross commissions. There's nothing hidden. It's an open book.
There's no hidden agendas. The profit sharing we didn't talk about. There's so many concepts of the company we can talk about. There isn't enough time, but the profit sharing is very important. Imagine you worked in this business for 25, 30 years, right? It is a little bit of eat what you kill business.
Sure.
So when it comes to a point where something happens to you, what happens to your family, your life? So having this type of a profit sharing component is basically allows you to, when you get to a point in life, hey, guess what? I have an income. It's going to come to me the rest of my life. So that's a very important. And this
That's-
company
yeah.
last year, so you know, we gave away $150 million
Okay.
back to the real estate agents.
That's a big number. That's a
Yeah.
big
we
number.
want Gaurav to take his unfair advantage on
Take
that.
as much of that as you can, right?
Yes, sir.
So what I'm gathering from both of you is you're saying, which is really smart, which is, so you have entrepreneurs, right? And entrepreneurs grow from ground zero. They have their own brand, they have their own feel, they have their own way of doing things. And instead of saying, join our corporate feel and do it this way, you said, let's not tell them what to do, let's support them and then let them grow. And that's a really interesting, I mean, that concept has to start at the top.
It's like a lot of people, agents, to build a business out of our company
Correct.
and not be in conflict with the owner of the
I
company.
mean, from the top of Keller Williams, you have to be able to say, this is how we operate, because if you stop and you don't do that way, you're gonna make some entrepreneurs pretty angry. But if you do that through its core, you can allow entrepreneurs to blossom.
And that's why the Agent Leadership Council, this company is basically starts from the bottom up, not top down.
Interesting.
When you look at to the top, everybody, the president, the CEO, vice president, you name it, everybody's a real estate person. Not from somebody coming from outside trying to, just to buying a company. They're
Yeah.
all real estate people. So that's the part. The Agent Leadership Council, which is what we call ALC, each office has these board members. So as an owner of a company, operating principal, I don't just go out there and make decisions. We have to have at least 90% consensus on, hey, maybe the policy should change. Maybe we need better signage. So we get the leaders involved when we make decisions.
I'm going to actually add one of my closing statements so everybody knows where the Condo Shop is going to stay. One of the things that, and we would have not made this decision of merging with Antonio's office if it wasn't for that culture and the growth opportunity that we had. And all of our agents asked us on day one when I met with them, each one of us individually discussed, well, how is this going to lay out? The simple question everybody asked me was, Gaurav, what is in store for us? How does this change our life? And when we sat down and we discussed the pros and the cons, well, actually there was not many cons, the pros were so high that each one of our agents believed that the opportunity was going to be absolutely stunning. We get to keep our same officers, we get to get a brand, we get to keep our same team, we get to keep our same, the opportunity of us doing our commission split within our team or for our company as well. We continue to do our branding. They let us do everything that we want as a team, and that's the only reason why a company like the Condo Shop, with such a good reputation in the market, and we've worked very hard for that, be able to take this larger national brand behind us. Think of it as a car. You're running, you're driving fine, you're adding mileage, you're progressing, and you add turbo behind it. And then the speed that we can grow at this level will be phenomenal for our whole team. And the Condo Shop is looking forward to be able to capture that opportunity of growth.
Guys, this has been a fantastic sit down. I'm glad I have answers now to my questions. I'm sure anybody watching this is going to understand it a lot more clearly. So I'm going to wrap it up, and as everybody knows, I'm Ian Walsh with Hard Money Bankers. Ian at hardmoneybankers.com, IAN. Gaurav, how do I get in touch with you?
And the way to reach me is my cell phone, 267-994-3870. My email is gaurav at thecondoshops.com. More than happy to discuss with anybody for a cup of coffee. If anyone wants to sit down with me, I love that.
Perfect. Antonio, how do we contact you?
Antonio at kw.com, 215-917-1213. Look forward to hearing from you all.
Perfect. You guys will be seeing these guys in the future, for sure.